morning, everybody. Let's do something different today. Let's have a look at the drones in the sky around New Jersey, around the world, to be honest, but mainly New Jersey. Just to see if we can glean any information using tarot. I've grown up seeing drones in the sky. Where I was born is where a lot of them are made. I didn't make them, but that is where a lot of them were made or still are being made. So I'm used to seeing it, but this is something a bit different. So let's just have a few questions to see if we can find out anything interesting. The first question is going to be, I know that you often see what I guess are like the UFOs, UAPs around nuclear sites. It's just a well-known fact. I read a book when I was very young called The Boy Who Saw True, and I often say it's one of my favourite books. And it was about a little Victorian boy who was psychic, and towards the end of the book, as he grew up, he went travelling around the south of France, and he said over Marseille there was a lot of what I guess was negative energy, but he saw something that was over the mountains, and he called them divas, not that type of diva, and they were like sucking out the bad, I guess, atmosphere, or I don't know what the word was. They were just sucking the badness out over this particular place in the south of France, which I won't say just in case it's seen as a bit rude. But I guess that's what happens around nuclear sites with UFOs, UAPs. So I don't know if the drones are part of that. Anyway, my first question is, are they something to do with nuclear surveillance, or is it something else? Really, really simple spread, as in like one card. Is it something to do with nuclear surveillance? Is it something else? And we can add on if need be. Is it something to do with nuclear surveillance? And to me, that would be the growth, stopping the growth of more nuclear activity, more storage of nuclear, I don't know, missiles. I don't know these terms. I'm not very up on it. But that would be trying to be aware of what was happening that could possibly be added on to make a situation worse. Let's have a look if there's anything else going on. Two of Pentacles. That's a bit like, the Two of Pentacles here is like something that's naughty, something that's playful, something that is a little bit of this and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let me put another card on that to see if it doesn't have to be just one thing, does it? So doing something sneaky. Who's doing something sneaky? So is it something to do with what I guess is something that we don't quite understand, or is it part of our, I'm going to say human race, or maybe governments, or somebody who's in the know? So let's have a look at that. Something that we're up to, or our governments are up to, or is it sneaky, or something outside ourselves? Security. Shock. Okay, this is interesting. To me, it's interesting. It's like interested in growth and how things are expanded. And to me, it probably got something to do with the Tower card there, with a view from the outside world, whatever that is. It's like destruction. And we've got here, the government, I guess, are not so much looking at the destruction because they probably know exactly what's going on there. They're looking at security. And it's something sneaky. Now, I'm wondering whether this is being sneaky. Yeah, it's got to be, because why would that be sneaky? And there's so many stories, aren't there, of UFOs or UAPs shutting down nuclear activity, as in, like, you know, the button goes off and you get like a countdown. And sometimes they start that, it has been recorded that they start that countdown off and will stop at the last moment. It's, again, that's like playing with it, isn't it? It's like you've got this, these facilities at your hands. It's like, let's see what it feels like when you're playing with it. And there's like panic, and we hopefully start to rethink things. But that's what I've got there. So yes, to nuclear growth. What are we doing? What are we storing? What have we got? What we're going to do with it? possibly, without being dramatic, it's like doing something a little bit shifty because we're on the verge of something that could be bigger. And the government aren't so concerned with regards to looking at what they can do with what they've already got. It's more a case of security. And in some way, let's have what is the next question I've got written down? I was going to say, I won't say anything because it's got something to do with the next question. Let's have a look at the next question was, are these drones, are they the USA's? You know, are they the government from the USA, or is it something else? Government from the USA, something else. Let me move these up a bit here. Are they the USA's? 9 of Pentacles. It's the same card. It's their security. It's their security. It's what they send up, possibly, what they're in control of to make sure that whatever they're hiding, whatever they've got, whatever they're protecting, which could be us, it may not be, well, it probably is, I don't know, but it's protection. It's protection and security. It's being, you know, you got the wall here, the boundaries, the money here. It's securing what they've built up, what they've already got in that particular country. So they're sending them up to make sure that things are safe. Yeah, let's find out whether, is it something else up there as well? The Devil card. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me put another card over that. To be honest, first thoughts are, no, it's all earth-made. You know, the Devil card is when it's earth. It's when we're bound to things that are very materialistic. It's basically mucking about. It's basically mucking about with things that are made by us. You can see earthbound. It's like finances, money, war, all these things that tie us here, hence why you've got these two people tied down to the earth. It's like manipulation in some way. To me, inside myself, I was expecting something different, to be honest, because you can see two different types of activities going up in the skies. Looks like a lot of it is man-made, which a lot of it will be man-made. I don't just mean the drones, but some things up there which I've been nosing at just look a little bit different. Let's have another card over that. The Devil card. Lots of different things. Lots of different things. Most of them man-made, I would guess. Yeah, most of them man-made. Scientists. Scientists, lots of different varieties. A lot of the things you'll see in the sky will probably be ours. That have been, I guess, reverse engineered, because you've got the King of Swords there, which is normally like a scientist type person, somebody who's very intellectual, and you've got here a variety of things. Okay, let's keep going. The next question is, okay. I've got more questions. Let's have a question with regards to, is there anything that we have seen around those particular areas that have got lots of swarms of drones that is otherworldly? Anything at all? Because this is suggesting all man-made, to be honest. All a bit of tricksy going on there. Let's have a look. Is there anything else? Because to be honest, I'm expecting that from the conversation or the chat I had at the beginning, that there is something outside ourselves that may be there. So I'm just going to put one more card down, and if I get a no, I'm just going to have to take it. No. No. It's almost like it's all a bit, it's just us. Okay, did not expect that. I've got to keep that. It's not the answer I wanted. I've got to keep it. What can we expect in the future? If this is so, and this is a lot of us mucking about for some strange reason, which doesn't make sense to me, because it's not really what I thought I would find, but let's just carry on with it and see if we can get something more out of this. So what can we expect in the future if all this like playing around carries on? What can we expect next? How will this grow? Something quick. Strength. Delusion. Okay, this is what I'm expecting here. It's a bit like a wake-up call in some way, I guess. Here you've got the Knight of Swords and you've got the King of Swords here, which I sort of interpret as like a scientist. You've got the Knight of Swords. It's something that has probably related to that type of meaning that happens fast. You've got a lovely Strength card in the middle, which is the woman almost like taming the beast. It's almost as if, I don't know if there's any truth behind this, but you hear of all these different sort of conspiracy theories about things happening in the sky and us basically, questioning it. And there's even stories, I don't know if these are true, like the War of the Worlds came out, that they made all these like light shows and tried to frighten people just to see how they reacted, to see whether we were ready to be introduced to anything like this, and I don't think we were, to be honest, from what I remember reading. But this has a feeling that the more that we're introduced, the easier it becomes and we become more solid in ourselves. It's not like we're going to go straight into fear, which will be a basic instinct. Maybe that's what's going on to some extent. I think there's two things going on because of this card up here. I think there's something going on here with regard, and it fills two purposes. There's something going on with regards to, that won't make sense, will it? Let me come back to that. There's something going on which is us, humans, playing, maybe trying to introduce things to everybody else that allows them to play with ideas, and it seems less frightening. The familiarity sinks in and we all begin to think, okay, so this is the new norm. And to be honest, so many things happen and we forget them. Big things have happened this last year, and I don't mean anything to do with this, but like celebrities, and it's like, what's the next news? The news comes to us so fast that it's almost unbelievable. All the things that have happened and we just ignore them. Cases that come up or celebrity cases. It's like the next thing is just as big, which can be, again, another manipulation, but it's what's going on at the moment. Now, when will we forget the drones? If the drones didn't come up for another year, everybody will forget and it'll be in the news in 3 years' time. Do you remember all those strange drones in the sky? So this, to me, has got something to do with familiarity and less fear. But you've got the Moon card here, which is like a manipulation of what vision. The Moon card is things a little bit misty, things that aren't quite clear. It can have a lot to do with like fantasies or perhaps distortion of reality in some way, whether that is to do with like light shows and whatever goes on. So I've got two questions here which aren't quite clear from what I've got so far. The first one is, this one seems to highlight nuclear activity. So I don't think our own government, or the USA government, and our own government, we have them here in the UK as well, around Rendlesham Forest, was it? I don't think our own government, I don't know, I need more information. So what's the nuclear connection, which is hinted at here, and because there's two things hinted at, a nuclear connection, but it's saying it's just us. And there's this pile here saying that it's for us to get used to things slowly. I just need to know, what is a nuclear connection? Let me get another pack of cards. No, I'll use this ones because they're smaller. What is a nuclear connection that I don't understand? Scientists. It's all over the place. Knight of Swords, Knight of Swords, Knight of Swords. We've got to the point, possibly, and one of the first times I think we saw UFOs, I didn't see them, I wasn't alive, was when they started, is it Los Alamos or I don't know, some place in the USA where they first started testing the atomic bomb. Is it Los Alamos or something like Alamos? I don't know. It's the same thing. It's like, we're dangerous. We're dangerous now, I guess. So it's got to be something else that isn't human. action and loss, defeat. I guess that is if we act on something now, then you may think you win, but you're losing, if that makes sense. It's like there's defeat here at the back. You may think that you've won. Let's just say that some country did something stupid. And this is, can almost be turned upside down. When we're being ruled by our lower, what I guess is our more animalistic instincts, we think that we've won, but the world would be uninhabitable. And it wouldn't be just for the people on the surface. Even if you were rich and were off to Mars or in a bunker, what sort of life is that? I'd rather not be here. That's no life. It's everybody loses. It's just like you may think that you've won, but behind there's defeat. It's just defeat. It's like a false victory. It's an animal's victory, and it's just nothing's good's going to come of it. Very scientific words there. Let me put this away and ask a more specific question. Because it's something that's on my mind, and this is basically it's mainly humans mucking about for two different reasons, trying to introduce us. And there's something that's not quite clear to me. Why would there be above nuclear sites? So what I'm trying to ask is there something that we see in the skies, like the sort of orbs that we see? What are the orbs? Just a straightforward question. What are the orbs that you see in the sky? What cards should I use? Let's use these ones. God, the sun, it's the centre. That's a really fantastic card. It's easy for me to interpret. The sun is the centre of everything. It's your heart because it's Leo. The sun is the centre because all the planets revolve around it, and it's supposed to be the core of where I guess consciousness comes from. That's what the orbs are. It's an expression of consciousness that isn't quite us. It's not quite human based. It's not quite carbon based. It doesn't have two legs. It's just it's still the same thing as inside us, but it's a bigger version of it. Okay, so do these orbs? And I know it's asking the same question that I got a no to, but I'm persistent. If I get a no this time, I will just have to stop. But they're above these bases. So let me just have one more. Do these orbs or whatever they are, what part do they play, if they do, in nuclear activity? Page of something underneath the surface, action orientated. It's probably what I said at the beginning. It's almost like cleaning out. Something that they're doing something, action, but it's not seen. Well, obviously it's seen a little bit, but it's like, to me, it's like scooping bits out. The reason that I say that, if you don't read tarot or it's something new and, I don't know what I'm reading and I know some of it doesn't fit, but I'm really, really interested, is that you've got it normally down with the High Priestess like a river, which runs down the bottom just below her, and it's getting the information from underneath. It's like the subconscious, so it's doing something below the surface, something that is not so material. It's not something of substance, it's not solid. It's doing something behind the veil, which is probably the High Priestess phrase there. So I don't think we're seeing a lot of what's going on that is more distant from our understanding. I think there's a lot going on underneath the surface that we just can't grasp, but what we're actually seeing visually has a lot to do with what we've actually made ourselves. Yeah, we've paid for it all. Last question. Let's just have a weird question. What, with detail, what will be the next main thing that we see in the news with regards to this type of activity? Not so much as we've already done with what is the pattern that's unfolding or why is it here, but what can be on the next situation we can expect to see on the news? Celebration. 3 of Buckets, friends. Connections, celebration. What does that mean? Okay, this has got a bit. I'm going to put one more card out, and then I'm going to have to stop. It's something. It's something that. This card up here that I talked about and tried to explain, the sun being the centre, and it's something outside ourselves, which often feel a bit like a great grandfather that looks after us, that is a little bit more wise than us, a lot more wise than us. This is like we get something. The next thing possibly that you may note in the news will be something that gives you promise. It's like counteracting what we're doing as humans. It's like, well, you think you're really clever by putting all these drones up or whatever's happening there, but we get something else, but you can't do this type of thing, and it feels good, and it feels like there's something outside ourselves that is more looking after us in our stupidity with the things that we do down here. I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. It's never easy. Tarot is never easy. You don't get straight answers, and especially if you come with preconceived ideas. But it's just a play. I just thought I'd do something a bit different. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye.